In this video, I'll show you how to receive stock into Clinic Manager. It's very important to always receive stock that you've purchased from a supplier into Clinic Manager to ensure that Clinic Manager knows how many of those stock items you have. If you just start billing or issuing stock without first receiving the stock into the system, you run the risk of having that stock go into a negative balance. We do have the ability to place orders through Clinic Manager, and then it's very easy to then receive those orders into the system. But for the purposes of this demo, we are just going to cover instances where you have purchased from a supplier stock that has not been ordered through Clinic Manager onto the system. Now, the first thing you'll do is click the pharmacy menu at the top, and you'll see the pharmacy orders submenu. If we were to click on this first menu item, this would be how we would place an order through Clinic Manager, and the second menu item would be receiving that order that we've created through Clinic Manager. Now again, there'll be a separate training video covering these two menu options. For the purposes of this training video, we're just going to deal with this third menu, receiving non-ordered stock. So click on this, and it will bring up the receiving non-ordered stock screen. It always seems a bit daunting at first glance, the amount of information, but once you've done this once or twice, you'll get the hang of it, and you'll see that it's actually quite straightforward because you're starting from the top and you're working your way down, and some of the information will actually be filled in for you, but we'll get to that in a moment. If we start at the top, we notice that obviously the items that have the fields that have a little asterisk next to it are mandatory. The ones that don't have the asterisk, it's not mandatory. Some of these were added for other clients of ours over the years. Perhaps they have very specific ways that they want to receive their stock. So don't worry about these for now. We're going to concentrate on the fields that have the asterisks next to them. So let's start with the supplier. My demo software only has one supplier listed. You may have many suppliers on your system. You may either type in the name of the supplier, or clicking on these three dots in this button will bring up your list of suppliers. In a separate training video, I will show you how to go about adding your own suppliers. Alternatively, you can always ask us to add them for you. Either give us a call or send us an email and we'll do so. So you choose the supplier from your list, and then it immediately takes us to the next field, which is the invoice or delivery number. This will obviously be on your invoice and will be specific to the invoice that came with your order. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to say 0001, and we can move on to the date that you received the items. It automatically puts in today's date, but let's say the items were actually purchased or they arrived at your facility yesterday, but you're only getting around to receiving them today. It's up to you what you want the date to be, but you can backdate to yesterday's date. The next one is very important. This is asking where you want to place these items. Where are you receiving the items to? I only have two examples in my demo data, the ward or the pharmacy. You may not have a pharmacy, so maybe you have ward, perhaps you have a storage cupboard. You'll have your own locations, and you choose the location. It's very important to choose the right location to make sure that the balance for that specific location is correct. Bear in mind that if you are receiving the items into multiple locations, you'll need to repeat this process in order to put the item into the other location. Now we move on to the next field, which is asking for the stock code. What stock item are you receiving? You don't know all of your stock codes off by heart. Well, you might, in which case you deserve a gold medal. But if you don't know your stock codes off by heart and you want to see a list of them, you can click on these little three dots over here. It brings up a list of all of your stock codes, and you search for your stock item. It's worth stopping here just to point out that if you do not find the stock item that you want listed here, that means that you can neither receive the stock into the system or bill the stock item because it's not in your stock list. And at this point, you would need to import the item from the full iQuest stock list, which is an entirely separate process, which will also be outlined in a separate training video. But for the purposes of this demo, let's say that all of your stock that you want is already listed on your system. and I will search for Panado as my example, and we select it. Now you'll see that Clinic Manager is telling us the pack sizes that this Panado comes in. In this particular instance, this item only comes in a pack size of 20. So we are going to receive 1 pack of 20. And you will see that Clinic Manager has automatically pulled the cost price excluding VAT and the cost price including VAT. This is the price that iQuest are saying you should be paying for this item. Now, if you paid more for the item, for example, you must type in this field, including VAT, exactly what is on your invoice, exactly what you paid for the item. So yes, it'll come up automatically there with an amount, but you type in what you paid. Now, if you paid an exorbitant amount for the item, a warning will appear saying, be aware that the price that you've entered is greater than what iQuest are suggesting you should be paying for this item. Now, at this point, you can obviously make the decision as to what you want to do. Perhaps you need to change suppliers. Maybe you're being overcharged. This is just a warning. But remember, you must type in here what it was that you paid for the item, not what iQuest say you should be paying. Now, let's go back. If we choose a different stock item, you'll notice that every item will have its own pack size. This one also comes in a pack of 2. Let's see if we can find an example that has multiple packs, like this one. This one comes in a pack of 100 or a pack of 1,000. So just remember that whatever the pack size is that you've received, that's what you'll type in under pack size. So if you received a pack of 1,000, you'll put in 1,000. And how many of those packs did you receive? Let's say we received 2 packs of 1,000. You'll notice that it'll tell you you're receiving 2,000 of this particular item. 2,000 tablets is what you are getting in balance. Okay, and you see it's also changed our cost price because this is a new item and we've received this pack size and we've received 2 of them. If we paid more than that, we can put that in there. When you're happy with this, you add the item and you can immediately move on to the next item on your invoice. Something else that's worth mentioning is you may want to receive a portion of a pack. Perhaps you didn't receive a full pack of 20 Panado. Maybe you only received 5 individual tablets. Well, how would you go about doing this? Well, it's simple. Instead of putting in the amount of packs that you receive, you will tick the units button and you can then type in 5 units. And you will notice that the pack cost and the pack exclusive and including of that has changed to unit cost, including and excluding. Now, you may have to do a calculation here to determine how much you paid for those individual tablets. This is saying that iQuest are saying it should be R1.27 per tablet. It might be different depending on what you paid. And you might just need to do a little calculation to determine what it was that you paid per tablet. And you can then add those to the order. And you can build it up until you're happy. And when you finish, you say, okay, and Clinic Manager will allocate all of these units to these stock items, and your balances will then be correct, and you can proceed to billing the stock items. So receiving the stock onto the system is as simple as that. It's one screen. You can do one invoice in one go. You can list all of the items one after the other, and you simply say, okay, and Clinic Manager does the rest. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Thank you for watching this video.